Over the past few weeks, there have been localizers melting down over the fact that slowly but surely they're being replaced with AI, and people have come out of the woodworks. The tourists have tried their very best to defend these individuals, but Western localizers are again attacking fans looking to AI for more accurate handling of Japanese media, saying you clearly can't appreciate the work of humans. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, again, I've had to talk a lot about localizers over the past few weeks, but this situation is just not dying down, and it is in part because of the localizers, because they are being so loud on social media, and instead of allowing people to have their opinions on the situation, they're doubling and tripling down, saying, you know what, not only are you a terrible person, but the companies are also terrible for trying to actually want accurate media. It's ridiculous, right? Because these people have been given chance after chance to right their wrongs. They have been handed such big projects in the past. I mean, the one that sparked this whole situation was Ancient Magus Bride. They have been handed products in the past, and they were expected to at least handle them with some level of respect, and they just haven't been able to, or they haven't cared enough to. I mean, of course, a lot of these localizers are just plain and simply activists, but it's still sad to see, and that's why people do not care about the fact that you're being replaced by AI. It says, while Bushiroad Works' announcement that Ancient Magus Bride would be receiving in-house simulpubs via a combo of AI technology and human editors was a source of Christmas cheer for audiences exhausted with the West's inundation of socio-political motivated and meme-riddled Japanese to English localization work, the news was met with a nuclear level of bah-humbugging from the very same Scrooges whose butchering of anime, manga, and video games inspired such open acceptance of a machine-translated future in the first place. It says, as detailed by the publisher, of course, they announced that there was going to be AI simulpubs. Basically, an AI was going to translate it, and the human editors were going to skim it over. Basically, AI assistants. That's practically what their job was. They are looking over the content that was done by AI, and then they were going to, edit it as they saw fit, contextualize it. And though this move was made by the publisher in a specific effort to cut down on piracy by reducing demand for fan translators by providing them with a superior service, allegedly, many found themselves admitting that though it was less than ideal to replace an actual human job with a machine, in light of the Western localization industry's noted history of intentionally butchering a given piece of Japanese media in order to serve their own ideologies, the potential for such AI-human hybrid combos to provide more accurate translation made the entire concept more appealing than it would normally be. I have said this in all of my videos, but I would rather a living, breathing human being do high-quality work instead of an AI take their jobs, but these people have proven time and time again that they cannot be trusted with projects, that they will take every given chance to either change something that they deem too offensive, that they think might bother somebody or make somebody uncomfortable, a chance to shove cringe terms that they like in, like yeet or big brother. They've also proven that they cannot help themselves but put just touches of their personal political opinions into these products. And again, it's not happening every single time, but we have seen it happen many times. I mean, Niche Gamer had recently put out this article saying 8+ years of awful English localizations in games and anime with dozens and dozens of examples. I mean, there's hundreds of examples at this point of them changing things in anime, manga, and also video games. But Q said localizers who, rather than taking even a moment to reflect on how their work has contributed to the industry's in the toilet reputation, responded to fans' openness towards AI with outright hostility and insults. I get that they are worried about losing their jobs, but again, if they had done better, if they had actually done their jobs and they were at least half decent at it, people would not feel this way. People would not feel like they have to praise a company who's replacing these individuals with AI. The Boyish 2 localizer said, fine, people who insist they would get better quality from AI translation are not allowed to read translations made by humans then. Enjoy your trash. This is absolutely hilarious that they are trying to now say that basically if you're not for us, you're against us. But that's kind of how the left works. At this point, you are either 100% for every single thing they say and do, or you are just completely against them. So, classic move. If you are a fan who thinks AI translation is good enough for the creators you supposedly support, you are mistaken and possibly a bad person. Educate yourself and reevaluate or read AI authored media because you clearly can't appreciate the work of humans. Again, it's like they don't understand this situation and they're going to the extremes because with this simulpub of The Ancient Magus Bride, it's not like they're sticking it into, an AI and then instantly publishing whatever that AI spits out. They have human beings who are overseeing it so that they can edit it. Maybe the AI doesn't understand a certain quote or the context behind it, and then the human being has to change that and edit that and work with that. And of course, that still means that there is still room for human error. There is still room for localizers to do what they're known for doing, which is butchering content, but it's a much less likely scenario at this point. I mean, they just cannot handle the fact that people hate them. And there are still some good localizers out there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here and saying every single localizer is an awful, terrible person, but at the same time, they are clearly proving time and time again why people hate them. Another is that if it's really the case that the translation is that bad, then the ones who replace the translator are at the publisher. I mean, this is also another problem. It's not just the localizers, right? They are being hired and they are in some instances taking creative liberties, but in a lot of cases they may be told to westernize something and put in some Western terms like yeeted. We don't have all of that information in a lot of the cases, but it's still their work. It is still their name on the project, and they were still the one who was getting paid and that their name was slathered all over it. The discourse around professional translation is already freaking miserable, and the prevalence of weirdos who had no idea what they're talking about, parading about a fictitious, malicious localizer boogeyman. The problem here is that there has been over 8 years of instances piled up. I know Bounding Into Comics also did a tweet thread posting all of the articles that they've, released over the years. And that we're not talking about a handful of situations and reaches here. I mean, we are talking about completely different pieces of content. I mean, could you break her in a little, make her act a little more ladylike was changed to, could you make her be a little nicer to me? I mean, we are talking about watered down content here, things, because again, these individuals are afraid to offend people or bother people, or in a lot of cases they just want to shove their political their political beliefs into the content they're working on. They are unable to leave their own personal opinions at the door. But yeah, I mean, we've seen this going on for years at this point. Over the past couple of weeks, there has been definitely an uprising against these localizers, and of course they are all completely melting down, and I don't think this is going to be the last time I talk about this situation, but it is funny to see these Western localizers attack fans in their giant social media meltdowns. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.